What's going on? You're watching NFL Daily, and I'm coming at you here with my man Harrison Graham. If you're looking for the latest NFL news and rumors, well, you're in luck because, Harrison, we have a bunch of them to talk about today. So let's not waste anybody's time. Let's talk a little bit about Andrew Luck and this injury update because time is of the essence.
Yeah, preseason week 2 about to be upon us. So running out of time for the Colts to gear up for that regular season. Obviously had that bounce back year last year, but has been banged up this offseason. Dealing on Monday, owner Jim Irsay said it was a bone issue. Now their GM is saying, and Chris Ballard is saying it's more of a high ankle problem. You start talking about high ankle sprains, that's a little bit problematic, especially for your quarterback who has been injured a lot the last several years.
I think it's funny that they also use the term small little bone issue. Like, small little bone issue sounds like a reason why you wouldn't be able to get a date, maybe not actually get on the field. But Chris Ballard, the high ankle sprain, I think is something that you need to worry about because Andrew Luck, if there's one knock against him, it's the fact that this guy has not been able to get on the field. He's missed 26 games, Harrison, since 2015. Last season, won NFL Comeback Player of the Year, threw for 39 touchdowns. I mean, if it's a high ankle problem, they have a serious problem.
Yeah, he missed all of minicamp, all of OTA. He's only, I think, participated in 3 practices of training camp, including missing the last week plus or so. Got diagnosed with that calf strain earlier in the offseason. Just hasn't been right since the season ended. And look, I like Jacoby Brissett. I think he's a decent backup, but we saw what happened when he started 15 games a couple of years ago. It was not pretty for the Colts. So Andrew Luck's status moving forward is just critical for this Colts football team.
Especially if they want to be able to compete against like the more elite teams in the AFC. And you want to beat the Patriots, you need Luck. You want to be able to beat Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, you need Andrew Luck. So everyone who's watching the show right now, if you're watching us on Facebook, what's up? Facebook.com/ChatSportsNFL. And if you're watching us on YouTube at YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV, we want you guys to weigh in and interact with us. So I'm looking down here in the comments section on YouTube. Make sure that you guys are interacting with our show. Will Andrew Luck be healthy by week 1? We want you to type Y for yes or type N for no. Harrison, will Andrew Luck be healthy week 1?
I think he'll be out there week 1. I think the question is he 80%? Is he 90%? How often are we going to see 100% Andrew Luck for the rest of his career? Because it seems like these little nagging injuries continue to pop up for him. And it seems like, too, Mitch, once guys start to get hurt, like a Tony Romo, they're never really fully healthy. And it reeks of Romo in Indy because they took way too long to address that offensive line. And while he's in the prime of his career, how often are we going to see him at full strength? Hopefully he can get back out there soon.
Type Y for yes, N for no. Harrison smells like Romo as well. So you asked about 100%. Well, I can get you guys 100% with MyBookie, chatsports.com/MyBookie. Who likes the NFL? I do. If you want some free money and you want to bet on the NFL, there's one place to do it. It's at MyBookie, chatsports.com/MyBookie. Let's talk about the Houston Texans and Jadeveon Clowney. This is an absolute circus with clowns. Who likes clowns? Nobody, Harrison. Tell me about this whole Texans trading Clowney thing.
Yeah, and I don't want to say Clowney's been a clown, but he certainly has not fulfilled those expectations of being the number 1 pick.
How many seasons has he ever had with 10 sacks?
0 double-digit sack seasons, Mitch. He won't sign the franchise tag. He has not been around throughout the entire offseason. I really don't blame the Texans for standing firm with Clowney. I wouldn't commit $100 million to this guy, and that's probably what he's looking for. He's looking for DeMarcus Lawrence type of money, and when you have J.J. Watt on the other side, I'm not sure he's worth shelving it out. Look, he's a disruptive player, but I don't know if he's worth all of that. Maybe you try and trade him and get either a first, second-round pick in return, or perhaps a left tackle, question mark?
Or an entire offensive line for that Texans team. So here's a tweet from John McClain. I think, Harrison, you and I both can agree that you should be the one that reads this.
Yeah, John McClain covers the Houston Texans for the Houston Chronicle down there in Houston. He says, quote, "I'd be surprised if Jadeveon Clowney isn't traded. They need a left tackle to protect Deshaun Watson. Those guys don't grow on trees, so I have no idea who it would be this time of year." And it's a good question because Deshaun Watson, kind of like Andrew Luck, has had some injury concerns early in his career and dating back to college at Clemson. You got to protect this guy long term, and they have not done a good job of that in Houston. And looking at this offensive line, look at Matt Khalil. He's just not very good. He has not been the type of player they hoped he would be. You got a couple of other guys up front there, but they need a left tackle to protect his blind side. They're giving Khalil another chance. He's bounced around a little bit early in his career. don't think he's a long-term answer there, Mitch.
I mean, the people that you see on screen here, I mean, be honest with me. Are those household names?
No.
No, they're absolutely not. So this is the question that we were going to ask everyone here, okay? Where will Jadeveon Clowney play in 2019, okay? Where will Jadeveon Clowney play in 2019? Type T for Texans or type O for other. We want you to hear it in the comments section below. I still think he's going to end up with the Texans, but hey, type O for other, type T for Texans. Let's keep it rolling here with the Patriots. Tom Brady, I love it. He got into a fight today, kind of.
Not much of a – this is more of a fun story here, Mitch. Of course, he played with Titans head coach Mike Vrabel in the early 2000s, kind of when Brady first got going in New England. Vrabel was one of those classic Patriot players, glue guys for those defenses before the Patriots became more of an offensive identity team. And they did a joint practice, the Patriots and Titans, and Brady's walking on the field pretty slowly, and Vrabel – kind of starts yelling at him, getting onto him like, hey, why are you walking onto the field? You know, get out there. And Brady says, pay attention to your own shit. So they were kind of just having a fun back and forth jab there, all in good fun there between Brady and Vrabel. Obviously, Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, decent first year last year, 9-7 for the Titans, looking to kind of take that next step, establish himself as a head coach. Tom Brady, he's been doing this for a long time. I don't think he can crawl onto the practice field for all I care.
Tom Brady could literally streak on the field. And to be
he doesn't have to practice,
I'd
right?
be totally okay with it. Also, Tom Brady's telling people to pay attention to your own shit. I want you guys to pay attention to this. Subscribe to Chat Sports. Currently, we're at 132,424. I'm going to pat myself on the back. And if you guys love the NFL, subscribe to Chat Sports. We are the most interactive YouTube channel. You tell me how many YouTube channels you see us out there giving shout-outs to Jeff Rogers, Isaac, Adwin. Continue to spread the name Chat Sports. Get us to 150K by week 1 of the season. Harrison, give them one reason why they should subscribe to Chat Sports.
Because you get to watch Tom Downey go live with his hair red, spraying his hair red, right? We do weird shit like that all the time here on Chat Sports. You're not going to find that on ESPN's digital platform. Subscribe to Chat Sports. Hit that red button. Or as Mitch likes to say, if you're colorblind, that big gray button. YouTube.com/ChatSportsTV. Let's keep it going.
Let's talk about a black and gray team, I guess, right? So the Raiders, Antonio Brown. I saw this title before we started. My feet are circumcised. All I saw was circumcised, and I was like, oh my Lord, what now is this injury that's happening to Antonio Brown? I'll tell you what. If something else got frostbite on it and it also needed to be circumcised, that would be a whole different kind of title.
Yeah, we'd have different kinds of problems with Antonio Brown. But you were all over the Hard Knocks stuff last night. Follow the Raiders account at youtube.com/Raiders Report.
Got it.
Right? There it is. We're got you all things covered Raiders there. Mitch does, at least. This is the quote from last night on the Hard Knocks episode saying, quote, my feet is pretty much getting circumcised, right? Right? For real, it's kind of like a pullback right now. I'm blank circumcised on my feet. Hopefully my feet are born again and I figure to run faster. Feel sorry for me later. He also went on to say this, saying, quote, I got out and felt my foot burning. This was after he got out of the cryotherapy chamber, by the way. The next, 24 hours, it swelled up. It got really big. I couldn't really walk or put pressure. The doctor came over, drained a little out, scalpeled the next day, freaking scissors the next day, just kind of let it leak all out. And now he says this, as everything leaked out, I was able to put a little pressure. Now it's just like new skin. I'm just trying to get my feet used to feeling that, but I feel like I just got a big whoopee cushion, you know? So Antonio Brown kind of all over the place as he is trying to get back involved with the Oakland Raiders. You see the picture of his feet. It is a disgusting sight to see, Mitch.
I think the worst disgusting thing that I'm thinking about is the fact that we're talking about circumcision, things leaking, and all this all on a show called Hard Knocks. I mean, am I wrong? What's the worst thing?
It all comes together.
When you want to talk about Antonio Brown, I mean, I think, honestly, even with feet that look like that, he's going to be okay in 2019, Harrison. 6 straight years, over 1,000 yards. He led the league last year with 15 receiving touchdowns. Now, sure, you're going to go from a Pittsburgh Steelers offense that loved to chuck the football to now the Oakland Raiders, who are going to play a little bit more controlled football. Antonio Brown is one of the best wide receivers in the league, and he needs to get his ass on the field. Let's talk about the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Deals must keep young core together. They got some triplets. I hope I never do. Hey, tell me about this.
Yeah, I'm more of a twins guy myself, Mitch. The title there, if it's confusing, basically he talked earlier today saying that, look, we want to pay Dak. We want to pay Amari. We want to pay Zeke. But those aren't the only three players on our football team.
You get a paycheck.
We can't pay everybody if we get these guys top dollar, and him and Stephen Jones have talked about this repeatedly. We can't be market setters with the young talent on this football team. We have other guys we have to get paid. We'll get to some of those names in a minute. Here was the quote from Jerry with the media the other day. He said, quote, "I've got to realize that I can't let a DeMarcus Ware out of here because I don't have enough money because I put it to too many others. That's happened to me, and I don't want it to happen again. And we've got some top talent." If you remember, they let DeMarcus Ware go. They released him to save some money, and he went on and had a resurgence and won a Super Bowl with the Broncos. Jerry does not want to let one of these core triplets go or one of these other core pieces go that we'll get to in a second because he wants to keep this entire group together. He wants to keep the band together. He knows it takes more than Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Amari Cooper to win a Super Bowl. You've got guys like this coming down the pipeline soon. Jalen Smith is entering restricted free agency next year. He's a key part of that defense. Do you want to keep Byron Jones? Anthony Brown's a lesser product, but he's still your slot corner. He's going to be free agent next year. Lyle Collins is entering free agency. Leighton Vander Esch in a few years is a guy you're going to have to pay big money to. So those are things Jerry is keeping in mind as he tries to structure the salary cap with these key guys hitting free agency.
So this is a very, very interesting question. Also, just put down in the comments section, if you want a shout out, type me. Who is the most valuable to the Cowboys? Type D for Dak Prescott, type Z for Zeke, type A for Amari. Also, shout outs to Luke, Adwin, and Tony. Harrison, out of those three names, who is the most valuable to the Cowboys?
It's a really tough question.
I think that's why it's on the screen.
Really tough. Yeah, that's why I came up with that question.
Oh, really?
I think I would lean Dak, but it would be very close. I think Zeke is the best player out of those three, and I think without Amari, Dak, we saw last year, it was a disaster. So it all kind of works together, but you can't make any of it happen without the quarterback. Cooper Rush, Mike White, those guys aren't going to get it done. So I would type D for Dak Prescott, but it's very close. I think you need all three.
So Dwayne says Zeke, Adwin says Zeke, Anthony Fuller says Dak, and then Tip of the Horn says me. Here's my thing. I don't think the Cowboys can ever win a Super Bowl with Dak Prescott as the main piece. The Cowboys have, I think, a pretty talented team. They have a solid offensive line and one of the best young defenses, one of the most underrated defenses in the entire NFL. But here's the thing. You go out, you pay Dak Prescott $35 million, $34 million.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're going to have enough pieces to build around him. For me, I'm going to type my Z for Zeke. Okay, let's go to Nick Foles here because is he going to be playing against his old team, the Philadelphia Eagles? Fingers crossed.
Not going to happen.
Well, turn off the show.
Eagles, Jags, week 2 of the preseason. I know
buzzkill.
We've all been waiting for it, right? Week 2 of the preseason. No, not a big deal. Doug Marrone came out and said, look, this isn't just Nick Foles not playing. Our starting offense as a whole probably not going to play in this one. They will put it all on the third preseason game, which is most teams' dress rehearsals, of course. Obviously, Nick Foles will always be loved in Philadelphia. I think the statue needs to go up someday for that Super Bowl run he had a couple of years ago. It was incredible. 73%, almost 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 pick in just 3 games, including that incredible game against the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Eagles turning the page. Carson Wentz clearly the guy there. Nick Foles the guy in Jacksonville, but he will not be playing this week against the Eagles in the preseason.
So Nick Foles, he won a Super Bowl back in 2017. And this was a little bit of a debate that we had here at Chat Sports. So before Harrison gives his answer, before I give my answer, I'm looking right now on YouTube. So if you guys want to comment who's the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl, also, I'll join us here on Facebook. Who is the worst quarterback to ever win a Super Bowl? Harrison, you get your answer in, and then I'll get mine in.
I think in my lifetime, it has to be Trent Dilfer. 2000 Ravens, arguably the best defense ever. He was a game manager, and he wasn't even a good game manager. He wasn't very good. That defense obviously carried him because you can't say Nick Foles because in the playoffs he was awesome.
Nick Foles was great.
It's not like Dilfer was throwing for 350 yards a game in the playoffs.
I mean, there's a reason why we called him Big You Know What Nick, because the dude was showing up and getting it done in the playoffs. Now for me, the quarterback that I hate the most that's a Super Bowl winner is Joe Flacco. That's hands down.
Straight in the playoffs, though.
I'm probably going to go with Kyle Bowler. Trent Dilfer is also pretty bad there. Both quarterbacks to end up winning a Super Bowl. But we want to hear you guys in the comments section below. Kevin Swish says Eli Manning. Yeah, Dilfer from Tip of the Horn. Tom Brady from Braylon Nichols. Brad Johnson from Mike Runn. And Dilfer is number 1 from Crick Kittle. Who's the worst quarterback ever to win a Super Bowl?